Imagine discovering an ancient civilization hidden beneath thick jungle, a civilization that built enormous cities, created advanced calendars, studied the stars, and ruled for centuries, and then, somehow, many of its great cities were abandoned. This is the story of the Maya civilization. Long before modern countries existed in Central America, the Maya were already creating architecture, writing systems, mathematics, and astronomical observations that still surprise historians today. Their world stretched across dense forests, mountains, and tropical lands across present-day southern Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, and nearby regions. Unlike many empires ruled by one central king, the Maya world was made up of powerful city-states. Each city had its own rulers, traditions, alliances, and rivalries. Gigantic temples rose above jungle canopies. Sacred ceremonies shaped society. Knowledge was preserved by scribes. Astronomers observed the sky night after night. And for hundreds of years, Maya cities continued to expand. But one question still fascinates people today. If the Maya became so advanced, what caused many of their great cities to fall silent? This is where the story begins. To understand how the Maya became one of history's greatest civilizations, we first have to go back thousands of years. Long before enormous temples appeared and before powerful kings ruled the cities, the ancestors of the Maya lived very differently. Around thousands of years ago, small groups of people gradually settled across the lands that today include southern Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, and nearby regions. Life was difficult. There were no giant cities. No pyramids. No stone roads. People survived by adapting to forests, rivers, changing weather, and seasonal food sources. At first, communities moved frequently and relied heavily on hunting, gathering, and simple farming. But over time, something changed. People began planting crops more consistently. Agriculture slowly transformed everyday life. One crop became especially important: corn. For the Maya, corn was not simply food. It became connected to identity, survival, and spiritual beliefs. As farming improved, people no longer needed to constantly move. Villages grew larger. Families built more permanent homes. Communities became organized. Trade slowly expanded. Ideas spread. Over generations, villages became towns. Towns became regional centers. And eventually, the foundation for one of the world's most extraordinary civilizations was created. The environment itself played an important role. The Maya lived across very different landscapes. Some regions had dense rainforests. Others had dry lands. Some areas had hills and mountains. Instead of creating one single empire immediately, different communities developed in different ways. This diversity helped shape Maya culture. As populations increased, leaders emerged. Religious ceremonies became more organized. Construction techniques improved. Stone structures slowly replaced simpler buildings. Knowledge started being preserved and passed down. No one at that time could imagine that centuries later. For generations, the Maya lived in growing communities spread across forests and valleys. But eventually, something extraordinary happened. Small settlements began transforming into powerful cities. People started building not only homes, but places designed to display power, belief, and identity. Stone by stone, the first great Maya cities began to rise. These early cities were more than population centers. They became political, religious, and economic hubs. At the center of many cities stood enormous plazas surrounded by temples, ceremonial platforms, and important buildings. Construction required planning, labor, leadership, and organization on a scale never seen before in the region. The rise of cities also changed society. Leaders gained authority. Religious figures became more influential. Skilled workers appeared. Builders, artists, traders, astronomers, and scribes slowly formed specialized roles. As cities grew, competition increased. Every city wanted to become more powerful than the others. New structures were built higher. Ceremonies became grander. Rulers wanted their names remembered. Trade became the engine behind expansion. The Maya exchanged valuable goods across long distances. Stone materials, decorative objects, food, rare resources. Ideas moved with merchants. Trade connected distant communities and accelerated development. But success also created rivalry. Powerful cities competed for influence. Some formed alliances. Others entered conflicts. Control over trade routes became increasingly important. Temples became symbols of strength. The skyline of the Maya world slowly changed. Huge stepped pyramids rose above the forests. Large public spaces gathered thousands of people. Religious ceremonies connected rulers with divine authority. Ordinary people watched as cities became more complex every generation. And then, certain cities began standing above the rest. Cities that would later become legendary. Epic aerial cinematic view showing multiple powerful Maya city-states separated by jungle, visual contrast of expanding cities, ceremonial fires visible at night, atmosphere of ambition and growing power, realistic historical reconstruction, cinematic documentary style. Paragraph 4, the golden age of the Maya, is almost equal to 5-minute voiceover. The cities had risen. Trade was expanding. Powerful rulers were competing for influence. And now, the Maya entered what historians often describe as their golden age. This was the period when many of the greatest Maya cities reached their highest levels of growth, knowledge, construction, and cultural influence. Across the jungle, enormous urban centers appeared. Temples became taller. Public plazas became larger. Monuments became more detailed. Every ruler wanted to leave behind something that would survive for generations. For the Maya, cities were not only places to live. They represented order, identity, and connection between people, rulers, and the heavens. At the center of city life stood the rulers. Maya kings were not viewed as ordinary leaders. People believed they acted as a bridge between the human world and divine forces. Ceremonies became a major part of public life. Huge gatherings filled city plazas. Music echoed between stone structures. Priests conducted rituals. Incense filled the air. Large monuments were built to celebrate victories, important dates, and leadership. The Maya also became highly advanced observers of the sky. They studied patterns in the movement of celestial bodies and used careful observations to organize ceremonies and calendars. This knowledge influenced agriculture, public events, and governance. Meanwhile, daily life continued beneath the massive temples. Farmers produced food. Builders expanded cities. Artists created detailed carvings. Merchants moved goods between regions. Children learned traditions from earlier generations. The civilization continued becoming more connected and more organized. At the height of Maya civilization, the cities looked powerful, organized, and unstoppable. But beneath the beautiful temples and public ceremonies, another story was unfolding. A struggle for power. Unlike some ancient civilizations that were controlled by one central empire, the Maya world was divided into many independent city-states. Each city had its own ruler, its own ambitions, its own goals. And as cities became richer and stronger, competition became unavoidable. Powerful rulers wanted more than prosperity. They wanted influence. They wanted trade routes. They wanted alliances. And above all, they wanted history to remember them. Political relationships between Maya cities became increasingly complex. Some cities formed partnerships. Others became rivals. Diplomacy and competition existed side by side. A friendship between rulers could strengthen entire regions. But a conflict could reshape the balance of power. Public ceremonies became more than religious events. They also demonstrated authority. Monuments displayed achievements. Architecture became a message. The taller the temples, the greater the ruler's image. As competition increased, cities invested more resources into expansion and prestige. Large building projects continued. Political pressure increased. Leadership became more demanding. Success created expectations. Every new generation of rulers needed to prove itself. Meanwhile, ordinary people continued supporting city life through farming, construction, trade, and labor. Prosperity remained visible. But maintaining greatness required enormous effort. Over time, rivalries became deeper. Alliances changed. Regional influence shifted. Some cities became stronger. Others began losing importance. Political competition slowly created pressure across the civilization. The signs were not obvious at first. The cities still looked magnificent. The ceremonies still continued. The temples still stood. For centuries, the Maya built cities, expanded their influence, and created one of the most impressive civilizations in human history. Their temples stood above the jungle. Their rulers appeared powerful. Their cities looked unstoppable. And then, something changed. One of the greatest historical mysteries began. Many of the major Maya cities gradually stopped growing. Construction slowed. Public monuments became less frequent. Large urban centers began losing population. Some cities that had once been full of life slowly became quieter. And eventually, many were abandoned. For a long time, people imagined a single dramatic event. A sudden collapse. One disaster. One explanation. But history is rarely that simple. Today, many historians think the decline was likely caused by several pressures happening over time. Population growth may have increased demand for food and resources. Managing large cities became more difficult. Environmental conditions may have become more challenging in some regions. Long periods of reduced rainfall are one of the ideas often discussed by researchers. Agriculture depended heavily on stable conditions. If harvests became less reliable, cities would face increasing pressure. Political competition may also have made recovery harder. Powerful cities depended on organization, labor, and cooperation. As difficulties increased, maintaining large populations became more difficult. Trade connections may have weakened. Construction slowed. Confidence in leadership may have changed. Some people likely moved away and created new communities elsewhere. What makes the Maya story so fascinating is that this was not the complete disappearance of a people. The Maya civilization changed. But Maya communities continued living, adapting, preserving traditions, and shaping the region. The cities changed. The people endured. And slowly, the jungle began reclaiming what humans had built. Temples disappeared beneath trees. Stone roads vanished under soil. For centuries, the jungle remained silent. Trees grew taller. Roots spread deeper. Rain and time slowly covered the stone cities. What had once been crowded plazas and towering temples disappeared beneath layers of vegetation. Generations passed. Empires rose and fell. The world changed. But deep inside the forests, the remains of the Maya were still waiting. Travelers occasionally heard stories. Local communities knew ancient structures existed in certain places. But for a long time, very few outsiders understood the scale of what had been hidden. Then gradually, explorers, researchers, and archaeologists began entering the forests. At first, discoveries seemed impossible. Massive stone structures appeared where no one expected cities. Temples rose above the trees. Ancient stairways emerged from the ground. carved monuments revealed signs of a sophisticated civilization. Every discovery raised new questions. Who built these places? How many people once lived here? Why had so much been forgotten? As research continued, something extraordinary became clear. The Maya had not built small settlements. They had created enormous urban centers connected across large regions. Ancient roads linked important areas. Ceremonial spaces showed advanced planning. Architectural techniques demonstrated remarkable organization. Researchers continued uncovering more. Technology improved. New methods helped reveal structures hidden beneath dense vegetation. Entire city layouts became easier to understand. Places once believed to be isolated turned out to be connected parts of a much larger world. The rediscovery changed historical understanding. The Maya were no longer seen as a mysterious lost culture living in isolated temples. Instead, they were recognized as one of history's great civilizations. But every discovery created another mystery. How many cities still remain hidden? How much history is still buried beneath the jungle? And if entire cities remained hidden for centuries? The rediscovery of the Maya did not just reveal lost cities. It revealed a legacy that still influences the world today. Because the Maya were not simply builders of temples. They were thinkers, scientists, observers, and storytellers. One of their greatest achievements was their writing system. They created complex symbols to record history, events, and ideas. Through these writings, modern researchers have been able to understand parts of their world that would otherwise have been lost forever. The Maya also developed an advanced understanding of time. Their calendars were not simple tools for counting days. They were carefully structured systems based on astronomical observations. They tracked the movement of the sun, moon, and planets with remarkable accuracy. This knowledge influenced ceremonies, agriculture, and daily life. Architecture was another powerful part of their legacy. Their cities were designed with purpose. Temples aligned with celestial events. Structures were built with precision and planning. Even today, their engineering continues to amaze archaeologists. But perhaps the most important legacy of the Maya is not just what they built, but the fact that they continued to exist. Despite the decline of major cities, Maya people never disappeared. Their descendants still live across Central America today. They continue to speak Mayan languages. They preserve traditions. They maintain cultural identity that has survived centuries of change. The civilization transformed. But it did not vanish completely. And this is what makes the Maya story so powerful. It is not only a story of rise and fall, but also a story of survival, adaptation, and continuity. Today, when we look at the ruins hidden in the jungle, we are not just looking at abandoned cities. We are looking at a living history. A reminder that civilizations do not simply disappear. They change. They evolve. And sometimes, they wait to be rediscovered. And even now, many questions remain unanswered.